I have with me Dr. Vivek Bindra, founder and CEO of Bada Bazaar. Dr. Bindra, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Bindra, if you can hear me, I'd like to just begin by asking you. I've just had a conversation, Dr. Bindra, with one of the UPSC aspirants. One of the crucial points that young boy raised when I asked him that, listen, there can be a time where, say I leave my home, I come to New Delhi to be a part of any coaching institute. And then after a few months, I may not wish to continue, or I may wish to switch to another coaching institute. And he said that what actually happens is that most of the coaching institutes today, they take usually an upfront one-time payment, and that's non-refundable. And that's how thousands of students actually get stuck with a coaching center. Why is it that there are no regulations regarding this?
There are many regulations required. Thank you very much for asking this question. First of all, my deepest condolences. It is really sad that we are dependent on tragedies to talk about such important things. Whenever there's a fatal accident, these fatal accidents, normally we talk about road safety.
Yes.
We talk about suicides. We talk about mental health. But why do we need to talk about such tragic deaths as a wake-up call? So today what we are discussing here, if this discussion was done earlier, तो आज शायद ऐसा नहीं होता. So first of all, I'd like to request all the students that your protest should remain peaceful and your demands are being heard. Now this has become a talk of a town, but you have to remain consistent, because every talk of a town remains a talk of a town only for a few days, then new talk of a town comes and that becomes a talk of a town. So the consistency in this talk of a town has to remain, and thank you NewsX for bringing such important subject. I suggest everybody to follow the principles of democracy. See, what I saw principally missing was the fire safety norms. There are 583 large coaching centers, out of which only 67 has fire safety certifications. In the incident that happened at Rajendra Nagar, the guard to actually safeguard the students from any kind of crisis that could have come because of non-compliance of the safety norms, he actually switched off the entire electricity and everything, because of which students got locked inside. And fire safety norms, if they are properly implemented, तो आग लगेगी नहीं. और अगर आग लग भी गई, if there is proper fire safety drills, practices being done with the students at such basement areas, तो फिर उसको manage भी किया जा सकता है. So just mock drills are required. So basically, what I'm saying is planning, preparation and prevention is more important than reaction, what we are actually today talking about.
Yes.
So there's a planning, preparation, prevention. The NOCs are must. If the coaching institute and the structure is being formed, the concerned departments of fire safety, MCD and DDA, they all should actually remain proactive. With this DDA, MCD and Delhi Fire Safety Department, they have missed out. The ambiguity and the contradiction of laws have created confusion instead of clarity. So it is better to remain proactive. That's what I'm saying. The planning, preparation and prevention is required. Then such cases can get reduced. If you look at the revenues of these coaching institutes, like you asked me in the question, they're taking upfront fees. In 2019-20, their revenue was 2,200 crores. It has become now 5,500 crores last year, which is 2.5-3 times more than what happened about 3-4 years ago. It means the coaching institutes are doing well. They're making a lot of money. They're charging upfront, and then now the student cannot switch. So there is a switching barrier that they have built. If they want to switch, it is so complicated and difficult for them to get their money refunded.
Yes.
My suggestion is there should be a rating system for such coaching centers for the services they are providing. There's an energy rating system for television or for the fridge or for the air conditioner. There's an energy rating system. There are rating systems everywhere. And second, what is another thing important is we should have created more large infrastructure which are more focused, just like Kota, like Bawana and Hitorni and other places where the land rates are economical, and they can be made coaching hub for North India, for Delhi. The infrastructure constrained doesn't remain a barrier for us. So the government gives advisory for students and parents. So like, for example, tobacco warning, there is an advisory. But there should also be an advisory for stop blind fanboyism. Because the great faculties, which are like great godfathers of IAS, उनका क्लास होता है महीने में एक बार, 29 दिन तो बाकी लोग क्लास ले रहे हैं आकर के. So that fanboyism So based on the podcast and reel that students are watching free of cost because the Geo has actually reduced the data cost, advisory should encourage the due diligence of the parents before admission is taken into institutes and facility and safety and result. Everything should be checked. एक ही बच्चा टॉप आया, सारे इंस्टीट्यूट बोल रहे हैं मेरे यहाँ से पढ़ के आया है.
Exactly.
सेफ्टी ऑडिट्स आर रिक्वायर्ड, जो आपका क्वेश्चन था. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि इफ यू इंश्योर द सेफ्टी ऑडिट फॉर ऑल कोचिंग बिल्डिंग्स एंड बेसमेंट, सेट मिनिमम फैसिलिटी हैजार्ड फ्री complete safety for coaching institutes which they should strictly abide by. There should be rule for students number. एक क्लास में there should be limited number of students. ऐसा नहीं कि वो सुपरस्टार एक हीरो टीचर है उसके नाम पे आ रहे हैं और पढ़ा कोई और रहा है. फिजिकल प्रेजेंस अनलिमिटेड हो रही है, लिमिटलेस हो रही है, and the space capacity is only for 70% of which 170% students are sitting there. For UPSC
But
coaching, a
yes.
student pays 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees for one course. Now this is very important. Let me tell you something here. एक बच्चा 2.5 से 3 लाख रुपए देता है एक कोर्स के लिए. एंड नॉर्मली स्टूडेंट्स हु आर एक्चुअली अप्लाइंग फॉर यूपीएससी आर कमिंग फ्रॉम मिडिल क्लास एंड लोअर मिडिल क्लास. दे स्पेंड 25,000 rupees per month for accommodation and food where they come from their
Yes.
village. Now which means about another 3 lakh rupees. So if they study for 3 years, so 3 lakhs into 3 lakhs is 9 lakhs. Another staying for 3 lakhs into 3 lakhs is 9 lakhs. It is 18 lakhs. और गवर्नमेंट उनको क्या कॉम्पनसेशन दे रही है? 10 लाख रुपए. 18 लाख तो उसका कैश आउटफ्लो हो चुका है. कॉम्पनसेशन आप 10 लाख दे रहे हो. मेरे विचार में दिस कॉम्पनसेशन शुड इंक्रीज. द गवर्नमेंट इज लिसनिंग टू न्यूज़ ऑन दिस. सी 10 lakh compensation is not at all justified. Not at all justified. Rajendra Nagar Coaching Institute and owner of that building should also pay compensation along with the government.
Yes.
For the relative of the deceased. Teachers should come out and support. Today I don't see these flamboyant superstar teachers are not coming out in the support of the student. आज student का support कौन करेगा? Students are emotionally charged. They need their teachers to support them. Where are they now? Especially the face of the coaching institute. Where are they now?
But Dr. Bindra,
Popular teachers and leaders should talk in favor of students. Where are they now? Sorry, you're saying something.
Yes, Dr. Bindra, I want to understand, have the businesses then, which these coaching institutes that they've become, have they somewhere blurred the line between what needs to be profit making versus what needs to be greed? Because as I pointed out, and you've also mentioned this, कि हर institute एक एस्पिरेंट को जो टॉपर है उसको पैसे देकर उसकी फोटो अपने इंस्टीट्यूट के बाहर लगा के देर ल्यूरिंग किड्स.
It won't sustain for long. See, let me tell you, Devi ji, very good question. Let me tell you, if you run behind the valuables, neither the values come nor the valuables. If you focus on the valuables will come so fast you can't even manage. So ultimately, पहले दुकानदारी बाद में, पहले ईमानदारी बाद में दुकानदारी. So what is important is when you focus on the values, character, ethics, morality, and principle, and these values will bring you valuables. You are focusing on the valuables. Valuables are outcome; they're not goal. Values are the goal. Valuables are the outcome. So my simple suggestion is, with the honesty and with all transparency, these institutions should run, and there should be the government, the education ministry should actually, now has the time come. कितना आग लगी पीछे गुजरात के अंदर, बच्चे कूद कूद के मर गए. Now today is the time when the government has to actually come forward and put a regulation on these coaching institutions who are actually charging like anything for. And अभी डिजिटल हो चुका है सब कुछ यार. अभी सोशल मीडिया पे इतना कंटेंट फ्री 200-500 रुपए में मिल रहा है. स्टे इन योर विलेज एंड लर्न. आप 5,000-3,000 बच्चों की क्लास में कितना सीख लोगे बैठ करके? Stay in your village and learn from there. Come on.
Yes.
The internet facility is now expanding everywhere. Sorry,
Important point there. So I just want to ask you a question on that line of thought as well. Like you said that everything is digital. Most people today do have access to a smartphone. Most people do have access to the internet. But how do we do this psychological de-wiring, which I feel has happened of a lot of students, where they feel कि if अगर कोटा नहीं गए तो IIT क्रैक नहीं होगा, अगर दिल्ली नहीं गए तो UPSC क्रैक नहीं होगा. ये एक psychological brain washing हो गई है, in which the institutes are also culpable. The institute will tell you that, listen, we produced 20 aspirants last year, you could be one of them. They don't tell you the possibility of that, the probability of that. That's one in thousands of students.
Students should get trained to come out of the story and learn to understand the data and numbers. See, basically the human psychology is such that we forget all the data and numbers and percentages, and we remember the story. And story has a powerful way to communicate. See, if you don't have any story to tell, you have actually nothing to tell. So these coaching institutes are actually creating those stories. Now let me tell you something which is very important here. There are reference points of those people who are studying from the village and also cracking these examinations. Let us now start communicating about those reference points more than the reference points coming from quota. If that reference point becomes my reference point and he becomes my superhero, so what happens is wherever your focus goes, there is where your energy flows. The focus is going on these advertisement and stories which are actually being built up. Main बात ये है कि कहानी बिकती है और कुछ नहीं बिकता है. लोग दुनिया सब भूल जाते हैं. People only remember the stories. And we have to train our students to come out of the stories and learn and understand the data and analytics and numbers. कितना % बच्चा क्लियर किया और जो क्लियर किया सबने उसको क्लेम कर दिया. So now social media का इस्तेमाल सही तरह से करना है. I am not, my father and my mother are not called Instagram and Facebook, right? I am not son of, I am not daughter of Instagram. I've got to use it judiciously, very carefully, very carefully and judiciously, because Instagram use करने में दिक्कत नहीं है. Instagram आपको वही दिखाएगा जो आप हो. Instagram will only show you with its algorithm who you are, right? So basically what I'm saying is you don't have to change the vastavikta. You got to change your mansikta. You don't have to change the parasthiti. You got to change your manasthiti. So that's what we are doing here today, and I want to thank NewsX for bringing this important topic up. And let's tell students to keep this story for a little longer of what is happening with these students. Otherwise there will be a new story coming up, and that story will become talk of a town, and this talk of a town will actually go out of the town.